Hi, this is Steve Graves with Cal State Northridge Geography Department and the California Geographical Society. This is a 5-minute field trip. Where we are today is out in the Amundsen Ranch. It's a nature preserve situated between the communities of Agora and Calabasas and Los Angeles's western frontier, West Hills and Woodland Hills. This area was the site of a significant battle between developers and conservationists, and luckily there was an endangered species found up here which kept this all from becoming one massive suburb. What I'm going to do is try to turn the camera around here, and what I want you to take a look at is that hillside up there. Notice the lack of trees. So that is one of the concepts we're going to talk about here is slope and aspect, along with the kind of biome that we have here, and maybe just a little bit about fire ecology and succession. So as I come around, we are looking west there and now facing south. You may notice it's morning, and so the shadows are falling to the west, but by noon those shadows will be falling straight at us, and so we know that that is a north facing slope and we are facing south. We come back around here, let's take a look. This is a south facing slope and it doesn't have any trees. And today's a good day to experience the effect of slope and aspect, and in this case aspect, because it's going to be about 105 degrees here later today. These areas that are facing north get a little more shade during the year, and so the soil moisture isn't baked out quite so much by the sun. It allows the growth of these trees, and it creates, at least in this direction, what is called an open oak woodland. And so it's a grassland with a tree canopy of about maybe 10%, 90% is grassland. But we are on the very edge of this biome, which is a classic California biome, this open oak woodland. It occupies many of the inland valleys of California. The southern San Joaquin Valley probably would have looked a great deal like this. Probably a good bit of the Sacramento Valley. You find it up along the Central Coast a lot, and here we are in Southern California where it is harder to find. It's harder to find for a couple of reasons. One is that this would be prime suburb territory as well. So the vast majority of this has been, sort of paved over and McMansions put all over it. And in other parts of California, it has been plowed under and turned into cropland if it's flat enough. It remains relatively stable if it is put under pasture for beef cattle production. But you can tell that it is very on the edge because of just this difference in aspect. The south-facing slope is without trees. The north-facing slope is sort of that classic open oak woodland. The other area in which this slope and aspect is so important is wine production. Vintners want to stress their grapes, so they would probably prefer these south-facing slopes, or maybe that's too much stress, but they want just the right amount of stress on that. So these concepts spill over into other areas. If it were rainier here, then we would see a more closed canopy, and you would have the closed oak woodlands environment instead. This biome is closely associated with a climate type called steppe, or sometimes semi-desert. Its analog in Africa is the savanna, and you would see, lions and antelope and, Simba and Mufasa out there. But here It is present because of the wet, dry climate, where, as in Africa, they have the savanna, and the rainy season comes and it rains like crazy for a while, and then a good bit of the dry season is harsh drought. Well, we have the similar thing here, in that we get almost all of our rain in the winter months, and then you get months on end without a drop of rain. And so this whole plant community and the animal community, the flora and the fauna, have to be adapted to this. And so these live oaks that you see, mostly live oaks, and there's a handful of valley oaks. I think that's one way up on the hill over there. They are drought adapted, and if you were with me right now, you could smell it. They would have to be fire adapted. This is a pyrophytic community, meaning that it is fire adapted, that this whole area has been raked by wildfires over and over again. If you may be able to see it, but if we got closer, you could see the burn scars on lots of trees. The tree straight in front of me has a large burn scar, and it appears to have not survived the recent fire that was about 2 years ago. This was all blackened and charred. It killed out some of the invasives. Some of the invasives that are here, particularly the mustard, are fire adapted as well, and they come back pretty quickly. 8 to 10, maybe 15 inches of rain a year. It's gotten less in recent decades because of climate change, and so this hillside may look more like this hillside in coming generations if things don't get better. But that is the open oak woodland, a sort of classic California landscape.